but the evil that men do lives on. We're gonna bang your head!
You are now listening to Music Mania, the #1 hard rock podcast in the Midwest. Today's special guest will be none other than Dean Roland from Collective Soul. And now here is your host, Clint Switzer.
Hello and welcome to a very special Rockfest Kansas City edition of the Music Mania podcast. I am your host, Clint Switzer, getting ready for all the festivities on Saturday to unfold here at Kansas Speedway. Tickets still available at rockfestkc.com, but what a day it's going to be. Guys, this is my first Rockfest experience. There's been 24 Rockfests leading up to now. This is the 25th anniversary. Back in 1999, Sammy Hagar and Collective Soul were both on the stage here, and they are going to be returning for this event. 2 stages out at Kansas Speedway. I think 16 bands all in all. Going to be a great day of rocking out there. Should be perfect weather for this, and I can't wait. Just back from Rocklahoma a week ago, so a double dip for me. I'm getting older, harder and harder to pull these off, but this is one day. Rocklahoma was 3. It's going to be a great event. We're going to be talking with Dean Roland, the guitarist from Collective Soul, coming up here about Collective Soul's appearance and kind of what they're up to. What a great band they are. They were actually at Rocklahoma a year ago where I saw them. I think they toured with Goo Goo Dolls a year ago. They got a tour going on with Our Lady Peace and Tonic, so kind of throwing it back to the 90s for Collective Soul, and they had some huge hits with songs like Shine, The World I Know, December. They're going to be bringing it actually at 6 o'clock, around 6:10 actually, on the Worth Harley-Davidson stage at Rockfest here at Kansas Speedway. Can't wait to talk to them. Sammy Hagar are going to be headlining the Worth Harley-Davidson stage around 9:30, and then Godsmack taking it home on the main festival. But a lot of big bands on this thing. We got Rat. 98.9 kind of threw it back a little bit. The venue change, it was at Liberty Memorial, and they would really go out of their way to bring in a lot of the newer bands that had radio singles. This year, kind of throwing it back a little bit. We got Rat, Buck Cherry, Candlebox, Volbeat, and Godsmacker, of course, 2 bands that have been here before, going to be rounding it out on the main stage, but should be awesome. Zach Wilde bringing his Zach Sabbath experience to the main stage at 4 o'clock. So, and not only that, you got Tom Kiefer, the voice of Cinderella. He's going to be at 2 o'clock on the Worth Harley-Davidson stage. You want to come out for this? Tickets still available on rockfestkc.com, and it's going to be a great event. This always has been something that I've been intrigued by because crowds of upwards of 50,000 have been coming to this event when it was held at Liberty Memorial. It's been, one of the bigger one-day rock festivals in the country for years now, but now we've got a venue change. It's going over to Kansas Speedway, which is great because I've seen a Throttle Fest there, which was headlined by Jackal just a few years ago, and it's a great venue. There's a lot of room. There's going to be a lot of vendors, a lot of stuff going on, and you don't want to miss this because getting in this kind of eclectic mix of bands together is rare for a station like 98.9, but I give them props for throwing it back, bringing in some of the older bands that have played this festival before, some for the first time. It's going to be great to see Rat. Just saw them at Rocklahoma. They are tremendous. Going to be great, of course, to see Collective Soul, and that is a great transition to go ahead and welcome our guest this week on the Music Mania podcast as we continue to talk about Rockfest and the event that is coming up here on Saturday. It is our pleasure to welcome guitarist for Collective Soul, Mr. Dean Roland, to the Music Mania podcast. Dean, how's it going out there in your world, my man?
It's been great, man. We just kind of just getting going. We had a few days rehearsal and then a couple of shows on our belt and getting back in the groove of it.
Well, it's a big show. You're going to be playing here in front of a lot of people here at the Kansas Speedway. You're returning to Rockfest for the first time since 1999. You actually played here, a different venue, of course, with Sammy Hagar in 99. Same event, Rockfest. This time, Kansas Speedway. You guys got to be pumped for this. We're pumped to have you guys back here in Kansas City for this.
Yeah, man, we are too. We've been looking forward to it for a while, so it's going to be fun for us.
It's a massive crowd. You guys,
we dusted off the cobwebs, and we'll be in.
Hey, I saw you guys at Rocklahoma last year, and let me just tell you, there's no cobwebs that need dusting. You guys rocked the crowd at Rocklahoma last year. That was a huge highlight for me, getting to see you guys there and bringing you guys back to Kansas City for this event. You guys are going to be sharing the stage with some big guns out here, man. We got Sammy Hagar, bands like Hailstorm, Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, and of course, Volbeat, Godsmack, Rat. It's a big deal. This is going to be a great day of rocking, isn't it?
Yeah, man, that's going to be a lot of fun. And I love those types of shows where we get to see some old friends, and it's just a fun, festive time,
Well, Kansas City's always been very collective soul friendly. I've been a big fan since the early '90s, and just kind of talk about you guys talk about kind of dusting off the cobwebs, which I don't agree with because I saw you guys. Like I said, you guys are in tip top form right now. But going out with Our Lady Peace and Tonic on a tour kind of after this round, so kind of talk about that tour, and it's going to go on through the summer, isn't it?
That's going to be fun for us. They've been friends of ours for a long time, so we were able, we've been chatting and ended up working out, scheduling worked out, and then so we'll do a run with those guys, and then later this summer we do a run with Shaney. So we'll have a lot of, 2 shows with him. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Busy summer.
Yes, and that's the way you want it as a working rock band. You want the summer to be busy, and I want to talk about new music from you guys because you released your long-awaited 9th album, See What You Started by Continuing, in October of 15. But kind of heard some rumors about maybe an album in 18. What can we expect from you guys as far as new music goes?
Yeah, that's what we're planning on. We pretty much recorded an entire record. There'll be a couple more that we finish. But it looks like we're shooting to have it released in spring of 18. So it's we're proud of it. It came off the heels of last year's tour, and so we were we were feeling good. We worked the songs out. A lot of it was during the tour. So we hit the studio. We were kind of in good momentum.
Well, momentum is right, and I tell you, just kind of chatting with some people because, an event like Rocklahoma, there's an eclectic mix of bands, as there will be Saturday. A lot of different types of bands in the hard rock genre, and someone I bumped into is like, I don't know much about Collective Soul, and I was like, you know what, you will, because when you hear the songs, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they sing that. I didn't know that. Do you find that happens a lot with you guys? It's like, oh my God, Collective Soul, they sing all those great hits.
Yeah, we hear it almost every show. We're like, I didn't realize you guys did all those songs. And it kind of connects the dots. They've heard the song, they've heard the name of the band, but sometimes it just doesn't quite connect until you see it live.
You guys have been out there doing this for a lot of years. I think you guys are coming up on that 25th anniversary. I don't want to try to date anyone here, but I think you guys, hey, no problem there, right? You're old. You're younger.
Man, it's like sticking together for that amount of time.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty awesome. And no one's calling anyone old here either because you're several years younger than your older brother Ed, so it's all good. No one's old around here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's the old guy. I can still play young a little bit.
Well, you guys have been there, since the beginning. You, Ed, and Will have been there since the kind of the inception of this thing. But talk about what band members like Johnny Rabb, Jesse Triplett. What do they bring to this kind of new version of Collective Soul?
Well, being in a band it's more than just playing music. There's the chemistry that you spend some really more time not playing music together than you do playing music. So it's it comes down to just being having the personal chemistry and relating on a human level. And those guys they bring in that good fun. They're great people, aside from being great musicians. And it's just a new perspective. And I think it was a healthy thing for Ed, Will, and I to have that happen. Between my dearest, I would say that it's healthy to have that type of new perspective to come in.
Well, I tell you what, you've kind of been around since the beginning. I know Ed kind of put the whole concept together, and Shine was one of those songs that kind of came from one of his early demos. But just talk about how you kind of became involved with the band. Obviously, Ed had been going around, trying to find a band that's going to work for a lot of years before he finally found Collective Soul. How did you kind of get involved in this, and just talk about kind of the inception of Collective Soul back in the early 90s?
Yeah, Ed was playing. He had a band and a couple of different variations through the years, and I was a late bloomer. I didn't start playing guitar until I was later in high school. I knew music because I was in high school band and that type of thing, but I didn't start playing guitar until later. And then Ed didn't even know I played. So once he found out, we started to play a couple of acoustic shows together, and it just kind of melded into that. And I was going to Georgia State College in downtown Atlanta, and I had that demo, and I took the demo to the college station there, and they started playing it, and they were the first ones anywhere to play the music, and they asked us to play a show, and that kind of just kickstarted the whole thing. We played a charity event for that college station, and that was the catalyst for it all.
Well, Collective Soul's always been one of those bands that's kind of undefinable when it comes to genre. I mean, obviously not like a metal, not really, obviously not really grunge, kind of more, rock, pop, whatever you want to call it. But, the scene that was going on in Seattle at the time was exploding. But yet you guys come from a place like Atlanta, Georgia. Just talk about kind of the music scene around Georgia. We just got to see Jackal at Rocklahoma, another one of my favorite bands that hails from Georgia, from Kennesaw. So just kind of talk about the Georgia music scene and kind of what it was like for you guys coming up.
Yeah, Georgia music scene was really diverse. I mean, back then you had bands like Jackal and Driving and Crying, Black Crows were there, but then there was, L.A. Reid and Babyface was going on, so there was like this urban hip hop thing that was that's grown into a monstrosity now in Atlanta. Had B-52s, REM, they were from Athens, but it was just a wide range of music, and our influences really just came from more of like just songwriting based, like Elton John or the Beatles. And then the riff side was really AC/DC, I guess. And we've been Zeppelin and Aerosmith, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And I tell you, and you guys wound up, I believe it was after the release of that and after you kind of got your legs under, you guys wound up, you get this demo to a college rock station, you end up opening for Aerosmith on that tour, on a big arena tour. I mean, just talk about how things exploded for the band and what it was like, kind of how things changed for you guys going from just this band that no one really knew to just huge.
It very simply, it changed by people showed up to our shows. And a lot of them at that time. We were, before we would play in Atlanta, and it was, just whoever was at the bar, girlfriends or just people that just happened to be there. It wasn't like we came from like this hardcore following. We were more kind of a studio thing, but we did play live a lot. And then the success happened on radio so fast that we were, catapulted into like Aerosmith. We played Woodstock, and we were, all of a sudden it was in front of lots and lots of people. And it was cool. It was great. I was too young to know any different. I was like, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. Let's just keep going. It's good.
Well, and a few more zeros in the bank account, doesn't hurt either, of course, at that time. And you guys, and then in the momentum, you talk about momentum. And I always look at bands that are able to follow up momentum with something even bigger. And it's kind of rare in music that happens. It's hard to, especially when you have a huge single like Shine that was so big at the onset. But you guys follow that up with your self-titled, second album, which was even bigger. 5 top 10 singles. I mean, that was just massive, and that just kept it going, didn't it?
Yeah, well, a lot of that came from the fact that the first record was a batch of demos, right? So that on that first tour, we were playing and writing those songs that ended up being on the second record, which for us was the first band record. So like that's the album that Well I Know and Where the River Flows, Jail. But anyway, so that record was in our mind like the first band record. So we felt like we were hitting the ground running and that's.
And I think it's interesting, I always wanted to get, your guys' take on this, because, of course, Dolly Parton goes on to win a Grammy for her performance of the song Shine. Like, is that one of those things you look at and you're like, hey, that's kind of cool, she did that? Or is it like, oh, come on, that's not how it was originally recorded? I mean, what is your take on that?
Oh, no, it's super cool.
Yeah.
That's an honor. She in her own right, she's a supreme songwriter. For her to do that was a massive compliment to Ed as a songwriter, and just it was cool. Yeah, we loved it.
Well, I know this last couple of years has been kind of tough. I mean, all the musicians we talk to, it's like you guys are all kind of one big fraternity, and a lot of losses in this last year alone. And of course, just Chris Cornell Soundgarden was supposed to play Rocklahoma just last week, the very event you guys played in 2016. I don't know how many times your guys' paths crossed with Soundgarden, or if you knew Chris at all, but just man, what a crazy deal! It's kind of a sobering thought, just as a fan, knowing that your heroes are not going to last forever. It's really sobering,
Right. Yeah, it's a heartbreaking situation. I come from a place of I didn't know Chris, but I come from a place of being a fan. It's like like you're saying, it's sobering. It's tough. I don't know. It's just a tragic situation.
Yeah, indeed it is. But I tell you what, more good things to come for you guys this summer. Going to look forward to that tour, guys. CollectiveSoul.com. You can get all the tour dates, everything that's going on. It's going to run all the way through the summer. So Our Lady Peace and Tonic, that's going to be part of that. They will not be part of the show in Kansas City. That will be Collective Soul at 6 o'clock on the Worth Harley-Davidson stage here at Rockfest. And I tell you what, Dean, we're just so excited to have you guys here. Can't wait to see the show. And man, I tell you, really appreciate the time. And we'll look forward to the performance on Saturday. Man, we know everyone's looking forward to it here. So we really appreciate it.
Oh, great. We are too. Thanks, Clint. Appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, Dean, we'll catch up soon. And best of luck on the road this summer. And hope it's a great one, ma'am.
Okay. Thanks, man. Take care.
Thanks, you too. Such a huge pleasure to talk with Dean Roland, guitarist from Collective Soul, about a band that I've always been very into. I remember being a kid, kind of hearing that song Shine like everybody did, and it just blew the roof off. Such a big radio hit. It has won a Grammy as performed by Dolly Parton, which is kind of odd that it would be a song she would perform, but it's actually a really good version. And, the band has done a lot of things. From The World I Know to December to their latest album that came out in 2015, and they're working on new music now. Out there on these big tours, going to be on the Worth Harley-Davidson stage at Rockfest coming up here on Saturday around 6:10 p.m. So you don't want to miss Collective Soul. Dean, a very forthright guy. The band's from Atlanta, Georgia. Everybody knows Collective Soul. They know a song, they know two, they probably know three. Or more, because this band has been around since the early 90s doing their thing. And of course, Dean's brother, older brother, Ed, is the singer for Collective Soul. So they've had quite a camaraderie over the years, and it's great to see them out there still doing it. And we hope everybody will be out there at Rockfest on Saturday. It's an event that I'm looking very much forward to covering. I always said, and I mean this, I said I would never attend this event as a fan, because for so many years, 98.9 really went out of their way to bring in a lot of new bands, and it was a lot of vanilla bands, and it was a lot of the same bands. You would see the same ones year after year, the Rev Theories, Theory of a Dead Man's, 3 Days Graces, and I didn't have a lot of interest in that. And I know it brought in big crowds, and it was a big deal, and I respect that, and I respect 98.9 for keeping the prices down. The ticket prices are affordable, the concessions are affordable. Keep that in mind as you're going out there this weekend. But the change in venue, Liberty Memorial, was just a massive, World War I monument out in the downtown Kansas City, but moving it out to the friendly confines of Kansas Speedway, where there's a lot to do. People can check out all the stuff at the Legends. There's tons of restaurants. You got the Kansas Speedway. You got Nebraska Furniture Mart. It's a well-developed area out there in Wyandotte County, and I think this is a perfect fit for Rockfest. We will kind of see where it goes after this. But I'm hoping ticket sales are strong for this, because I think it's a lineup that if I can get behind it, I think everybody should get out there. So many bands, from Tom Kiefer to Rat to Candlebox to Collective Soul to Volbeat to Hailstorm. Guys, I'm pumped for it all. Hope to see everyone out there. Guys, thanks so much for listening to the Music Mania podcast. Hit that subscribe button on iTunes, certainly on YouTube as well, and follow us at musicmania_show on Twitter. You can find us on pretty much all the social medias. We appreciate all the responses and the feedback. Let us know who you'd like to have on the show going forward. We appreciate it. We hope to see everyone out there at Rockfest at Kansas Speedway on Saturday, June 3rd. Tickets still available on rockfestkc.com.